If there's any video that dispatchers need to watch, it's this one because I just got paid $400 to fix one of the most common mistakes that dispatchers make. And in this video, I'm going to show you what this mistake was and how you can avoid it all for free. So let's not waste any time, let me just get straight into it. So I just got off a call with a dispatcher from Atlanta who was stressed out of his mind because his business wasn't doing well. He was complaining about how hard it is to find carriers that will stick around longer than a few months, and he couldn't really understand why he kept losing clients even though he was charging 5% less than his biggest competitor. So anyways, I spent 2 hours going through his entire business plan, his marketing funnel, his onboarding process, his financial metrics, everything. I spent 2 hours going over everything just to find out that the mistake he was making is a mistake that I've seen most dispatchers make, which is ignoring service stickiness. Yes, I know it sounds weird, but just bear with me because it's super important. Service stickiness is really easy to understand, but super hard to implement. However, if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll actually show you how you can use this in your dispatching business. But before we jump to that, obviously you need to know what service stickiness actually means, and the easiest way for me to explain it would be by looking at a company that has perfected this concept, Apple. Think about it. Apple doesn't just sell you phones, tablets, and computers. They're selling you an ecosystem. They're selling you all these products just to get a hand on different parts of your life. And the more products you buy, the harder it is for you to leave. And that's what you need to do in your own dispatching business. Going back to the conversation I had with the dispatcher in Atlanta, the problem wasn't the obvious stuff, like the rates he's charging, the price he's negotiating with brokers, the lanes he's sending carriers on, etc. In fact, all the stuff that he was already doing was great, but that's the problem. His service isn't very sticky because all he's doing is providing carriers with loads. That's it. It's the main job of a dispatcher, I agree, but there are hundreds of dispatchers in Atlanta that can do what he's doing, but for cheaper, so why wouldn't carriers leave? Guys, if you take away anything from this video, let it be this. Instead of just booking a load and calling it a day, think about all the other problems you can solve in a carrier's business that don't involve the quality or quantity of loads that you're providing them. Rewind this video 5 seconds and listen to that again if you're still a little confused, but I'll give you some examples of what I mean. So, for example, can you provide them with compliance or paperwork support? Can you recruit drivers for them? Could you offer some sort of factoring service for them? Could you provide customized financial data and reports for them? And so on and so forth. All these services that I just mentioned are not directly related to booking loads at all, but these are huge problems that many carriers face, and most of the time, these carriers will have to go to 4 or 5 different companies to solve each problem. Now, this is where most dispatchers mess up. They hear me say, hey, you should recruit drivers for carriers, you should provide factoring services, you should run social media campaigns, blah, blah, blah. And they think, oh, I need to do all of this and just charge 8% per load like I've been doing. Obviously not. If you did that, you would not only go out of business, but you would be in a ton of debt. So how do you actually package all these services together and charge a fair price? The answer is with a tiered pricing model. Now, tiered pricing is pretty simple. The more services you add to your core offering, the more you'll charge your customer. So for all you dispatchers, the more services you add to your core offering, which is booking loads, the higher the percentage will be that you'll take from each load. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. So, as you can see, on the left, you have the basic plan where you just provide loads, customer support, and some back office paperwork support as well. 90% of dispatching companies will provide similar services for a similar price like this. So, you want to be really competitive with your basic plan because it'll be easy for carriers to compare you to other dispatching companies. But this is where it gets really interesting. For the standard pricing, you can charge a bit higher than the average dispatching company will, but you will also have to provide a little more. This is where you can start to add in extra services like complete DOT or compliance support, financial reporting, free ELD and dash cams, etc., etc. You're providing more solutions in other areas of the carrier's business, but it won't necessarily take a lot of your time, effort, or money to do this. Finally, you have the premium plan. This is where you can set an even higher price and offer a lot more services, and even offer discounts for other big services you offer, like recruiting, ad campaigns, factoring, etc. I think you get the idea. Anyways, there's a lot more that goes into this, especially into how you price your services. You can charge more for the standard plan to make the premium plan seem like a better deal. This is what movie theaters do with soda. You can charge more for your premium plan to make the standard plan seem like a steal, which is what Apple does with its iPhones. You could also come up with unique names for your plan so it's more relatable to carriers. Basically, there's a lot of stuff you can do. The possibilities are endless if you just get creative and play to your strengths, but don't just start offering things that you yourself aren't good at, If you make false promises, carriers will not only leave you, but they'll ruin your reputation, and you'll find it even harder to find new customers. I hope you guys kind of understand the point that I'm trying to make with this video, because this could be the only obstacle holding your business back from going to the next level. But all of this won't matter if you're not good at the one thing that every dispatcher should be a master at, which is negotiating loads with brokers. If you're not already an expert, you could definitely learn a lot by watching this step-by-step guide I made, where I show you how to calculate the rate you need to charge brokers and all the little sales tricks I use to negotiate the highest load rate. So yeah, go watch that video next, because without it, all this stuff you learned here won't matter. So yeah, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.